Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Jade Alberts from Calgary, Alberta, and I'm a small business strategist influencer, and my passion is helping small businesses grow and succeed. Sharing my knowledge is why I started the Telling It Like It Is Facebook live show. It is a live show, and if you do have any questions, please feel free to put them up there. We will answer them. If you're watching this after the fact, just comment, and Peter and I will get to them. I'd like to thank Orangetheory Fitness for sponsoring this chat. They deliver fitness results in a fun group environment using heart rate monitor technologies. Please contact one of their 9 locations. Today's Telling It Like It Is guest is Peter Lafontaine, founder of Helix and key member of Rainforest. Peter, thank you for joining me, and how are you today?
Feeling great. Thanks, Jade. Thanks for having me out.
I guess the good thing about our meeting today is you didn't have to bike anywhere.
Yeah, well, not yet, but I will be.
Well, I imagine you're probably heading downtown somewhere.
It's my second year of using my fat bike right through the winter. So cold or snow, and off I go.
Wow, man, it's been up until the last couple of weeks that you've had actually a good biking season in the winter here.
Yeah, until the 30 below stuff. That's nasty. That makes everything more interesting.
It sure does. I'll give a brief introduction about Peter here, and then we'll hit the questions. So Peter is a business and technology leader focused on positive change. He's a key member of Rainforest, a movement focused on diversifying Alberta's economy by building an innovation ecosystem. Innovation is happening on all fronts, from hydrocarbon to mental health and wellness. This interview will focus on how things will change. Things need to change to improve lives for Albertans and everyone for that matter. So, you're part of the group of Rainforest. I know we've connected there a few times. I love it. I love going for their lunches without lunches and some of their other events. Please tell our listeners about it and why it's so important.
Yeah, okay. Well, it is a movement. So it's an unfunded organization of just people that have come together with a vision to help diversify Alberta's economy. So probably everybody is intimately aware now that, the hydrocarbon industry is under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And the province is very dependent upon the hydrocarbon industry. And we love the hydrocarbon industry, by the way, but this province also needs to understand how to diversify and do other things in technology, in people, process, or tools. So the rainforest is really focused on building an innovation ecosystem. So it's not about the rainforest, it's about an ecosystem analogy. And the ecosystem means that we have all the pieces and parts that are necessary to diversify and to grow small and medium businesses and to get into the tech sector. So that means it has the capital and the talent. It's got the resources. It's got the political will, all of those things that are necessary to be a fertile ground for innovation. And that's what the rainforest is all about. So it's got a couple components. I can explain what they are, and people are welcome here to attend. If you're in Calgary, every Wednesday we meet for lunch without a lunch. So come on out and be there at 11:45, and don't expect to be fed other than some good knowledge. And people hang around till about 12:15 or 12:30. We get 70 to 90 people out every meeting. That's how much is going on. We have 2,200 members now in the rainforest. And I mean, it's made up of guys that are investors, professors from the university that have new ideas, young students that are coming out of university and college with their entrepreneurial ideas. We have people that have established businesses that are looking for ways to innovate their businesses that are showing up. So we get a really great mix. I mean, we have neuroscientists and hydrocarbon specialists and clean tech guys and artificial intelligence groups. It's fantastic. So yeah, that's the rainforest. We have a Slack channel that people, if you decide to go to our website, which is rainforestab.ca, you can go in there and sign our social agreement. And that's a big component to this thing. That social agreement is it's a key piece to it. And what it means is really it's a contract that says you're there just as a person. You're there to be bring your super skills or your talent to the table. You're there to give as opposed to receive, which is kind of opposite to a lot of the networking groups. So you're there to bring your talent or expertise or services, and then you can offer that to the other people in the group. So that's a big component, is this social agreement that people sign up. So you can find it on the website, and yeah, it's worthwhile taking a peek.
No, I mean, you are the one that introduced me to the Rainforest Alberta, and you've mentioned the website a few times. So I just want to comment that it is in the comments section below, so you can click on it and it'll take you right there. I have shared that social contract. I love that social contract and all 10 points that it stands for. It is absolutely outstanding, and I encourage anybody that is watching or sees this to go check it out, because it is the one thing that I do love about the Rainforest and the people that are there, other than networking, is the fact that everybody is there to listen and everybody's there to help everybody else. And that is such a change in some of the mentalities of how things are done today. So that is something that's very important.
Well, and we can go back to the social contract in a minute, but being an entrepreneur, if you've ever been down that path before, you know that it's not an individual, it's a team that gets to the table. You don't become a superstar. I don't care whether you're Wozniak or Jobs or any of the legendary guys. None of them did it on their own. There's always a good team that forms around that. And that's what this Rainforest thing is about bringing those teams together. Accountants and finance guys and technology specialists and developers and marketing and sales, all that stuff that's necessary. So that's the contribution that people bring to the table, and often offer it up for free just because it's the right thing to be doing. And then of course it creates relationships, and that pay it forward model actually comes back. People end up helping you, and be shocked at how that actually works.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. So before we go into the mental health side of things, how did you come up with that, or how did that social contract get started?
Yeah, so that was, the early days of Rainforest when they came up with the social agreement. It was part of the governance plan. The Rainforest is actually based on a book called The Rainforest. And so parts of it were in that framework. Yeah. So, but we went through and decided it was a governance model that was necessary to change the attitude, and not just create like a networking group, but to create this synergy. And so that's how it started. So Brad Zumwalt and Jim Gibson and Evan Hugh and a few of the key guys that got this rolling. That's kind of how it all came together. When you look at it, you'll just think it makes complete sense. And I'll just say one more thing. There's one of the guys that has taken this social contract to one other level is Jim Gibson, and he's written a book called Tip of the Spear. And if you read that book, it's a continuation of the Rainforest, really, and the social agreement, and it talks about how we need as people to have a moral compass behind this evolution of technology, which is hitting us in all angles right now. Yeah. So it's really important to have a governance model that gets behind artificial intelligence or new technologies or new medicines or anything else that's coming of age. Like, we're all going to be connected up. Even you, Jade, are going to be connected up with an appliance sometime in your body somewhere. I don't know what
machine. What are you talking about?
I'm going for an extra set of arms, by the way. So that when I go flying off my bike, I have a way to land like a spider.
I think you should start posting some of your wipeout videos. I think that would be a good thing to do.
Totally. Yeah, I should get a camera. Just so all you'd see is rocks and trees and hearing me whine in the background.
You could probably charge for that.
Seriously whining.
Oh, that's funny.
So far, so good. So far, so good.
Exactly. So I mean, again, I mean, I love the rainforest, and I've been to a few of their big networking events there, where we're collaborating and putting things together. And you and I know, how important the mental health is, especially for entrepreneurs and small businesses that sometimes feel like they're on a small island. So, I mean, you've mentioned this as an area of focus, and I know Rainforest focuses on it, but share some of your thoughts and what needs to be done to move it forward, so it's more into the common thread in people's society.
Yeah. So my shtick with the rainforest now has been focused on this area called social enterprise. So I'm still a capitalist, but this is the area of purpose and profitable in that order, which is a great trend out there in society today. Companies are starting to recognize that, purpose is a great way to drag employees in, keep them motivated. Purpose also drives customers in the door. If customers can see that your business is supported by purpose. Yeah. And then one of the purposes, of course, that I see out there right now is mental health and wellness. So sadly, our current system is more very geared towards waiting until people are in trouble. And the Alberta Health Services is, a great organization. And if you show up broken, they'll get you in the door and they'll get you fixed up. But in the mental health and wellness space, if you wait till you're blinking, I crudely say, then often it's going to be very expensive. It might be too late. You personally might be addicted to something or some sort of abusive habits, or you've lost love in your life or something. And so it's a really tough time. I have to turn off a phone here, Jade.
I forgot to remind you to do that.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about that.
No worries.
It's my psychologist. No, I'm sorry. I make fun of a serious topic here, and if you can't have fun in it, then you should steer away from it. But so the analogy is in mental health is that if you show up to a garage with your car and there's smoke coming from underneath the hood, the tires are flat, you've ignored the engine light, it's probably going to be either too late or it's going to cost you a ton. And that's what we do with people. So what we're working on right now, and what we need to work on, is getting ahead of that curve, so that we understand how to maintain our mental health early, so that we don't get ourselves into trouble. So the big thing that's coming forward in science right now, and proof, is that it's not so much an illness thing. It's just the brain continuum, and we all come a little prepackaged with some inherited things in our brains. Could be OCD or ADHD if you want to use the psychological terms for it, or we have a really super hyperactive brain, that kid that can't settle down. As it's turning out, those brains are amazing, and they're just a brain that has a hard time shutting down and it's constantly thinking. And so it sometimes goes to self-medication to be able to relax and to calm itself. And it appears that that's where a lot of the addictions can start. Yeah. And, those learned behaviors, and then trauma and everything else gets into the lives. So if we can move ahead on the schedule and allow people and families to understand their brains early, understand what's going on in their heads and the type of individual they are, and then give them a navigation plan that says, here's how you can keep your brain in check. Entrepreneurs are, that's mental stress like you can't imagine. If they understand how to keep themselves in check, they can keep their ability to stay in the game, keep their families together, keep their personal lives and their health in check. So that's a big part of this, is to get ahead of the game. And so we're actually working on some technology right now to build a tool to create a dashboard for our brains so that we can actually see how we're doing, and then a path forward, a recommendation on, this will be all online. I'm not saying you shouldn't go see a psychiatrist or a doctor or, we're not doctors, but this is like common sense, very affordable medicine, if you will, for keeping your brain in check. So it starts with understanding your brain and the relative importance of nutrition and exercise, the importance of self-talk and cognitive-based therapies, the importance of having purpose in your life and understanding your purpose, your skills, and being able to leverage those. Excuse me. Understanding your community. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Understanding, I just better take a drink of coffee here. Understanding your spiritual intelligence, how people are connected together and how we work together. It's not so much a religious thing, but just really how man was never intended to work independently. You need a support structure, like humans are just geared to be designed to be that way.
Yeah.
And then, of course, nature. So we're trying to get that message out to people that this isn't an illness thing. This is a navigation for life. We need to understand how to do that.
No, and I mean that's such a great point, and I know you've showed me this and walked me through that that platform that you guys are building, and I think it's going to be absolutely amazing because preventative maintenance and having things and having people to talk to or things to reference is so important. So having built that and having moving it forward, how will an improved, or how do you think an improved mental health will improve our business ecosystem?
That's the important question. You're right. So, first of all, there's a massive economic story here. So, you're right?
Yep.
I don't have to call anybody?
No, we're good.
So, it's an economic story. $51 billion problem in Canada has been allocated to kind of the mental health and illness problem and addictions. So if you think about that and then you equate that right down to your business level, if you can have your employees that are mindful, aware of how to keep themselves in check, stay away from addictions and that sort of stuff, it just increases productivity. People are happier, they're more motivated, they understand why somebody sitting across the table from them have the attitudes that they have, because that's the way they are in their brains. So it just lifts the whole organization and the people around them. So, when you see somebody shaking and sweating and they're sitting in front of their computer and they're ready to, fall over, sometimes it's the right idea to just get up, put cold cloth in the back of your neck and walk around the block. And I mean, it's proven to work for people. So anyway, it's an economic benefit for any business to be aware and to help their employees find mental wellness.
Oh, no, absolutely. And I mean, even some of almost all of the businesses I've dealt with over the last X amount of years has been, having that ability to make sure that you can step away and, I don't want to say digital detox, but just get away, listen to some music, go for a walk. If you're downtown, go to the, what's that little area called? The little forest in that area. But I mean, just get away and just forget about work. Don't answer your phone and focus on yourself for a little bit. And again, I mean, I know I use exercise a lot and I break up my day, and that really helps me from someone who, works from home, is alone all the time. But when I get out and get to my gym, I'm able to talk to people, forget about work for that maybe hour or that squash match. But it makes a big difference in my day and how I can focus and how it keeps me, how I think it keeps me, mentally strong, because it's a tough world out there and there's a lot of stresses.
Yeah, and we have an amazing province here. Like, I mean, the resources and the water and the mountains and the snow and the climate. But it just encourages, if you get out there and really breathe it and feel it, and it's remarkable what it can do for you.
Oh, absolutely. You can't stress that enough. So I guess what's next for you, Peter?
Well, I am going to stay focused in this mental health and wellness space. I think this is something that's big enough that obviously we're not going to solve mental illness and drug addictions or addictions in general anytime soon. It's it's ubiquitous, and I mean it's touching 1 in 2 people. So I'm going to try my best to start bringing these tools to the table, cooperating with all of the other help organizations that are out there, raise the awareness, change the stigma that's associated with thinking you're weak because you're having trouble sleeping or you're having weird thoughts. We just got to get on top of this thing. So that's where I'm going to focus my social enterprise space as part of the Rainforest. I'm also part of Metiquity, which is an investment group. So we've pulled together an Alberta investor tax credit. So I'm very much on the investment front in this space, and working with other investors to try to get this whole economy diversified. So if anybody wants to talk about investment or capital and that sort of stuff for their businesses, that's also something that I've been pretty close to in the last while. So there it is.
Nice.
I don't know what else.
That's great. I think
just fix the world. That's all.
That's just a little job.
Start right here in good old Calgary. Start there.
Hey, this is the center of the universe in my opinion. So, and if anybody wants to contact Peter, his website is in the comment section. So you can click on that, go directly to his website, grab his email. You can go into the comment section here or after if you're watching this on LinkedIn, and reach out to us, and we will get back to you. So the one thing I always ask my guests the exact same question to end it, because I think it is very important. And as I said, sometimes it's hard. One of the reasons, I started Founders Coffee was to make sure that people do get out there and they have a place to talk and meet other fellow entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, or small businesses, because you don't have that time. And even if you spend an hour a week with some other people, like-minded people, it will go a long way. So what's one piece of advice you have for these small businesses or entrepreneurs?
I'm going to start with pick something you like. Pick something that you feel that you got a little bit of passion and skill in. Something that will get you out of the morning and feel like you've got something that's actually driving you beyond just making the dollar.
Yeah.
So, if you think being an entrepreneur is just about the money, then maybe that's not the place for you, because you can actually go out and get a job and make money and put away 10% every year and retire at 45 without being an entrepreneur.
Yep.
So pick something that you're passionate about, I would say, and then recognize that you need help right at the beginning. Like, work with mentors, work with other people. Don't be afraid to test your idea out there. Don't hide in a closet and think you've got the best idea and nobody else is doing it, because I hate to tell you, somebody's thinking about it.
There's no doubt there.
Yeah. So, those two things. Get passionate, like pick something that you think you're strong at, that you're passionate about, and then make sure that you find a team, mentors, and learn how to listen. For God's sake.
Such an important one. I stress that all the time. It is such an important one. There's no doubt about listening. All three of them are obviously very important, but there's lots of comments. That's for sure. Yeah.
The last thing I would say is your habits. Check your habits. I mean, honestly, like if you've got habits that are holding you back, they're probably hanging around. You might not even know what they are, but figure out what they are and find a path to new habits, which is maybe including finding a new community of people, so that, you're not spending your time with the same, I'm not going to say bad lot of people that you're hanging out with, but
well, you got to expand your network, and you always got to be networking. You got to meet other people. You never know where you're going to meet your next, the next person that's going to help you either personally, financially, or business-wise.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to have fun.
We like to have fun. I know that. Well, Peter, I really appreciate that, and thank you so much. I know the Rainforest has a lunch every Wednesday Founders Coffee, if you're interested in coming into more of a smaller group, you're 6 to 12, 6 to 13 type thing. It's every Tuesday morning, 7:30 a.m. at Red's Diner in Kensington. And again, Peter, thank you so much for coming out and, sharing your knowledge and what you're doing to help promote mental wellness and in our community here, which will also expand out into the great wide world. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for putting this together. I think it's very useful. I've looked at some of your previous casts and I've learned something every time. I want to meet that Bowman guy that you had on last time.
James Bowen.
Bowen, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely.
I'm gonna chase him down.
Yeah, I'll send an introduction email here later on today for you guys. That's he is an excellent guy. He's awesome. He's based out of Ottawa, and I really like James. He's great. Yeah. And again, a special thanks to Orangetheory. What's that?
Oh, sorry, I was going to say, can you help me with my personal digital marketing?
Well, always. We'll start by getting you that helmet cam.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks to Orangetheory Fitness for sponsoring this. They have 9 locations in Calgary, and as Peter said, it's good to have a routine. If you don't have a routine, maybe it's time to start a routine, and spending an hour at the gym to refresh your mind and refresh your body. So again, thanks a lot, Peter. I hope everybody has a great day, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
See you later.